International Media TV. Television that listens to you.
Hi, I'm Johnnie Burrell. Welcome to the program.
My name is Canyon Sayers Ruse. I'm from Indian Canyon Nation, and I am honored to do what I can, where I can, how I can, to honor my ancestors, so we may honor the past to shape the future. Oh!
In the spirit of love and liberation that inspired the January 21st nationwide women's marches, today we mark International Women's Day. To recognize the essential economic value that women of all backgrounds add to our socioeconomic system. Even though women receive lower wages, experience greater inequities, and are more vulnerable to discrimination, sexual harassment, and job insecurity. We're here to say no more. We're not standing for that.
So my name is Connie, and I am a Vice President of the Labor Council, and we represent about 100,000 workers here. Many are right out here in front of us. But I want to speak today about the plight of women and workers just real briefly. I think there's things you know about that Trump 45 DC guy and his allies in DC. Well, every morning they get up and think about how they can destroy workers and workers' rights and labor unions. Every morning they get up and think how they can destroy public education, our environment. And how do they do this? And this is important. They know that if they keep us divided, they know that if they use their racist remarks against our immigrant brothers and sisters, our refugees, our African American sisters and brothers and beyond, they know if we're divided, we will not be able to defeat them. And guess what? We have something to tell them. They do not win. We will not stay divided. We will keep working here in California and all across the land and show them our values and what we care about. And then when we look at what the new jobs out there are, the new jobs, we call them under the umbrella of the service sector, right, or the care sector, the in-home health care workers who are taking care of our elderly parents or our disabled friends. We call them preschool workers. We call them retail workers who are working at places like Walmart and those low-wage jobs. And we say we want to make those jobs good jobs with decent wages and decent benefits, because that's what our sisters do and that's what we need. So let me tell you what the union movement is doing. We're not only organizing people, and you're going to hear from a couple of union sisters today who are organizing security workers and having a great amount of success down in Silicon Valley. But we're also creating legislation here in San Francisco that addresses this. So we have, as you all might know, the largest and most comprehensive minimum wage in the country. Next year, 100,000 workers in San Francisco are going to be making $15 an hour. Not only that, we know that in the retail sector, many women have to work 1, 2, or 3 jobs just to survive. So we created a piece of legislation that says in San Francisco, you have to give people regular hours and regular schedules, and you have to provide them with more hours if they want it. That's a law. We call it the Retail Worker Bill of Rights. It was passed 1.5 years ago. And lastly, we did something just last month that I am so incredibly proud of. We took one of our most working class, staunch institutions, City College, and we opened it up to everyone. Free of charge. You can go, starting this fall, free tuition in City College.
I'm just going to get London Breed up here. She's the president of the board of our supervisors, and she has plenty to say for herself. Thank you so much.
If you could only see what I see, you all look so amazing. You know, I just want to start by saying I was raised by a strong woman, and today I stand on her shoulders. My grandmother raised me right down the street here in San Francisco, California. And let me tell you, Miss Brown was no joke. She didn't mess around. She took care of her kids, she took care of her grandkids, she took care of her community, and she taught me to do the same. And that's what we do as women. We don't just talk about what we're going to do. We roll up our sleeves and we get it done. So the world is falling apart right now because we decided to take a day off, right? But let me tell you something. What's so amazing about San Francisco and what's so amazing about you all being here today is you're saying to the whole world, we are together, we stand strong, we stand proud, we will protect a woman's right to choose, we will protect reproductive health and everything that we stand for here in San Francisco. As president of the board of supervisors, where we have finally in a long time majority women on the board of supervisors. We are working together. We are working smarter. We are working stronger. We know that there are bigger fish to fry in Washington, D.C. So we know how important free city college is. We know how important paid parental leave is. Paid parental leave passed first here in the city and county of San Francisco. How amazing is that? We know when we want it done, we got to roll up our sleeves. And so today is just a time to honor each and every one of you, all the incredible organizations, all the incredible advocacy, all the people, when they tell you to sit down, you stand up. All the people, when they tell you to be quiet, you get louder. All of the women who care about making sure that the next generation of young women are not left out of the equation, that we are not forgotten. Because if it wasn't for us, how would men even get into this world? How would they know which tie to wear in the morning? I just want to say to each and every one of you, thank you. Continue to fight. Continue to stand strong. Continue to stand proud. Thank you for the organizers. We got work to do. We celebrate today all the amazing women, all the incredible advocates, but tomorrow we continue to roll up our sleeves and get to work and fight for all the values that we hold dear. Thank you and have a good day.
Our next speaker is Supervisor Katie Tang, and Supervisor Tang was instrumental in having us here today. She actually made this podium happen, which, in case you didn't know, we need the mic. So I wanted to thank her for that. Katie Tang, Supervisor Tang, is raised here in San Francisco and has been on the Board of Supervisors since 2013, and I'm really excited to welcome her. So please join me in welcoming Supervisor Katie Tang.
Thank you all so much for being here today, and as London said, you all look so beautiful. I have to thank a woman in my office, Deanna Keyson, for getting you the podium today. That's really her. And so this morning I was actually at Burton High School, and we were talking with all the young students there, and they actually decided, instead of walking out on class, that they would actually hold a day run by the women at their school, which was so inspiring. Yes, they turned it into a really positive event, and I went there with some of my female colleagues, and we talked to all the young students, and some of the topics that came up are around issues such as, for example, me as a young Asian woman not feeling comfortable speaking up when I was young. and running for office. Sorry, I'm not a shouter, but I'll try my very best. So some of the topics that we talked about included the fact that me as a young Asian woman growing up, not feeling comfortable speaking up in class or even running for office. That was a huge ordeal for me to even feel comfortable doing that. And so today, as we're surrounded by so many women and also all of our male allies as well, I want to thank the mentors who are out there who actually help support us achieve our dreams, even if we didn't know that was something that we could do. So you're going to hear from someone very shortly, someone named Carmen Chu, who is our city's assessor recorder. Carmen, wave your hands. And today I dedicate this day to people like her, who has really become my sister and who has showed me that when I doubted myself and didn't believe that I could be here, standing here as a member of the Board of Supervisors, that she actually believed in me and told me that I could do this, that I had every intelligence like anyone else to be able to do this job. And so thank you so much to my sister Carmen. Yeah. So to all of you who may have young people in your lives, young women, please continue to mentor them. For young women out there, look for great mentors like I found in Carmen so that you can all continue to achieve your dreams, again, even if you didn't know that there was something that you could do. So thank you all so much for being here. Thank you to the organizers. Thank you for everyone who fights every day to stand up for what you believe in. So thank you.
So up next, it's pretty timely that we have Carmen Chu is going to speak next. Carmen Chu is often referred to as the money lady of San Francisco. Every year she's responsible for generating over $2.5 billion in property tax revenue to support critical public services such as schools, our police force, parks, libraries, and family support services. She's also the only Asian American woman assessor in the state of California. May I please invite Assessor Carmen Chu to say a few words.
Good afternoon. My name is Carmen, and today I can tell you a day without women would be pretty terrible. Wouldn't you say so? Rallies are tough for me because I typically am a pretty quiet person. I usually speak very quietly, very deliberately, slowly, so on. But I am really energized by all of you here today. You look so wonderful here together and unified. And despite everything that we're seeing in the news, what is real, what isn't, what are all the distractions that are being put out there are a few things that I know are true. I know that it is true that when my parents came here from China as immigrants, when they came here without money, without the ability to speak English, they didn't come here and struggle so that I would have less opportunities than when they came here. I know that it is true that when my mom was working in sewing factories to make a living to help support our families, that she never expected that I would ever have to take a back seat or that I would have someone else telling me what I can do with my body. I also know that it is true that my parents didn't tell me, despite the fact that they never had a chance to go to college, that they never finished high school, that they told me it was important to go get an education, that they ever expected that it would be fair for me to be earning 70 cents on the dollar to a male counterpart. So today, my comments are short. I just say we have so much work to do, and all of you here gives me that hope that we're going to get it done. So let's take today, let's celebrate, let's make sure that from here in San Francisco all the way to Washington, D.C. and around the world, they begin to see the power of women. Thank you.
Thank you, Carmen. Our next speaker is Supervisor Hillary Ronan from District 9. And we live in a city where the dialogue between elected officials and residents is ongoing, dynamic, and heartfelt. And Supervisor Hillary Ronan is joining us today to represent District 9, my district, She's an advocate for affordable housing in our rapidly changing neighborhoods, and she has lived and worked in the Mission District for the last 13 years, is that right? And Supervisor Ronan is the first mother to serve on the Board of Supervisors in more than 4 years. Please help me welcome Supervisor Hillary Ronan.
And Supervisor Sandra Lee Fewer.
Thank you. It is so good to be here. Sandra Lee Fewer and I are in committee right now, but we recessed the committee to come out and join all of you beautiful people for this incredibly historic day. So I will just start by saying that it is so great to see all of you women here being visible and taking a stand and say we will not be silenced. Our voices will be front and center in the fight that we have going on right now for the very soul of our country. And I want to tell you a quick little story that really moved me and told me what we're really up against. It's a visual image. I was on a panel not so long ago with one of the first female treasurer, Rosie Rios, in our country. It was at the Ignite organization that trains young women to run for office and represent us on supervisor boards and in Congress all across this country. And what Rosie Rios said is that when she first became the Treasurer of the United States, she went and she studied and looked at all of the economic instruments that we have in the country, the history of our dollar bills, of our bonds, of every financial instrument. And what she found was there was only one representation of women on our financial instruments in the history, and that was Lady Liberty. Not a real woman, a statue of a woman. And then she took a walk through Central Park and in New York City, and what she noticed was that there was only one statue of a woman, and it was a fairy tale. It was not a real woman. And that's when she began the fight to put a woman on one of our bills, and why very shortly we will have the $20 bill bearing the image of the fierce leader in our country, Harriet Tubman. And when finally we will not be invisible on the currency of this of our country anymore. That's what women leadership does. And so I just want to say that I am so proud for the first time in 22 years to be with a majority of women on our San Francisco Board of Supervisors. Yeah. I am so proud to see you all here today. We are going to fight day in and day out to make sure that we continue to stand up for economic, racial, and gender justice in our society. Thank you so much.
Thrilled to be here today. I'm Sandra Lee Fewer. I represent District 1, which is the Richmond District. So my message today is we can never be complacent. I just turned 60 years old. I have to admit, I thought a woman's right to choose, that's put to bed, we got it. However, we can never, if this election has taught me one thing, it has taught me the fight continues on and on and on, and with every generation. So I speak to the women here, but I speak to our male allies too, and that this is a country that is dominated by a dominant culture of white males, and we can see the power that they are wielding now. So the idea that women continue to be sexualized is ridiculous in this country. The idea that we have to fight for our reproductive rights again and again and again is just insulting. And then actually, the fact that we actually have elected officials who think that women cannot even physically be raped because our body sometimes somehow shuts down just shows the ignorance that prevails in this country. And so I want to say to all women, do not let them separate us. Do not let them divide us. Do not let them divide us around race and class and whether we are born with female anatomy or not. We are women. Do not let them divide us. It is what they are trying to do when we talk about immigrants, when we talk about race, when we talk about who deserves to be in this country. I just want to say, this is the time. If you thought about running for office, this is the time. If you thought about sending money to Planned Parenthood, this is the time. If you thought about signing a petition, holding a sign, putting a sign in your window, telling people about what you believe, this is the time. Vote. Register people to vote. And women, stay united. Don't let them separate us. We know our power and they know it's frightening. So bring it on. Thank you.
That's going to be hard to follow, but I'm going to yell and see if I can. I want to thank the supervisors for coming out of committee today. That is leadership that I really love and I want to see more of. So thank you for coming out of committee for that. Our next speaker is someone who I really was looking for and I didn't even know I was looking for until I found her. So the power of social media means that ideas are going to spread like wildfire. And I don't know about you, but there was a time about 3 months ago when I found myself ripping up all those Bed Bath & Beyond coupons because I didn't want to shop there anymore. Then I heard about two women who were keeping a running list of companies that you could boycott because they were supported by Trump. And I was hooked. One of these women is here with us today. Her name is Shannon. She's a local organizer and the brains behind Grab Your Wallet. Please welcome me. Welcome Shannon to the stage.
It is my honor to be with you here today. It's my honor to resist with you. And I'm going to shout into this microphone, especially to those folks over there yelling that they can't hear, because I have an important message for you today. And that message is that you are powerful. You may not have felt powerful since November 8th. You may have even at some times felt powerless. You are not. You are powerful. I'm here to remind you of that. Your power is why in just a few short months, over 1,400 companies have stopped advertising on the hate speech site Breitbart. Your power is why 23 companies, many of them large, publicly traded companies, have stopped doing business with the most divisive political figure and family this nation has ever seen. Nordstrom Rack, Neiman Marcus, Sears, Kmart, Kawasaki, Carnival Cruise, Gilt.com, Wayfair, Shoes.com, Jet, Jenny Craig, The Honest Company, Tyra Beauty, Rue La La, Shop Style, Bellacore, Zulily, Larissa's Kitchen, the LA Clippers, and QVC. Your power is why retailers have dropped more than 3,600 products by a family who wants you to believe that immigrants are criminals, that climate change is a hoax, and that the objectification and dehumanization of women is normal. The objectification of women is not normal. You know it, we know it, and I assure you, the companies whose names I just read, they know it now too. Things are really close at the polls in America. At the polls in America, things are neck and neck. Things are not close at the cash register. Women drive between 70 to 85% of all consumer purchases in this country. The people who voted against Donald Trump generate 2/3 of this nation's economic activity. And right now, we've got to flex that power, and we've got to flex it hard. Today, on this very special International Women's Day, a day without a woman, we're making more progress together. We're rejecting a United States in which women account for only 23% of senior business roles, 19% of congressional seats, 22% of parliamentary seats internationally. We're rejecting a world that still pays women less, devalues women's work, expects us to do more unpaid work, and excludes women from the most important decisions and conversations. We're rejecting a world in which many women couldn't afford to take a single day off of work today. We're here for them because we know if things were different, they would be here for us. We act together or not at all. Today, women are opting out of the economy because we now understand precisely our value within that economy. We need to keep flexing that power and flexing it hard. Instead of you and I waiting for institutions and leaders to change, we will see those institutions bow to a new commonwealth of compassion that you and I are forming today. One that puts a premium on peace, health, truth, education, respect, and inclusion. Together, you and I are going to flex our economic power in favor of that more respectful and inclusive society that we know is possible. Together, you and I are going to change this world for the better. Are you ready? Right on, let's do this. Thank you.
I'm here to speak to you as an immigrant, and as a Muslim, and as a woman, and a mother, a recent mother. And to say that up until recently, my faith has been quite close to my heart. My faith has been invisible and close to my heart, my Muslim identity, up until the ban. And I'd have continued to feel unwelcome, rejected, pushed in a corner if it wasn't for all of your voices. You're standing up, you're showing incredible support. So in terms of fighting on and bringing change, I can tell you, you have changed my attitude and how I have received and how I have felt received in the United States. So I say thank you. And ironically, standing here and looking at you, and you do look very beautiful, I feel, ironically, grateful to President Trump. Because ultimately, he has been a major reason for all of us here today. For articulating what we believe in and not being allowed to be pushed in a corner, for resisting and persisting. So thank you very, very much. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Up next, I am very proud to welcome Deputy Chief of the San Francisco Fire Department, Ramona Williams, to the stage. Ramona has been... Women in uniform, what can we say? So, Ramona has been with the fire department for 27 years. She is a hero for us here in San Francisco, and she puts her life on the line every day for us. Thank you so much for being here today, Ramona.
I came in 27 years ago after a court-ordered mandate to hire and promote minorities and women. And during that time of struggle, because of your hard work and diligence, I was able to persevere and rise in the ranks step by step against hostile environments, racism, sexism. I'm just keeping it real. I'm not going to sugarcoat it like it was a smooth sail, but I persevered as each of you are persevering today with this march. So I just want to come today and just tell you that I am also in support of Women's International Day, and to keep the hope alive and keep moving forward. Don't look back, continue to look ahead. Yep. We can keep making progress. Thank you, ladies.
Christine is the chair of the California Democratic Women's Caucus, and she's going to be here to talk to us today. So thank you so much, Christine.
Yeah! Hello, San Francisco. It says, hear us roar. My mom, Nancy Pelosi, just led a walkout in the United States House of Representatives of congressmen strengthened by the work that all of you are doing here and the work that we're doing across the country. So many of us were marching together in January. My mother, my daughter Bella, and I among them, among all of you, and we were marching for our future. We're marching for our rights. We're marching because, as one of the speakers just said, we have been galvanized. Now, we would have been marching for the first woman president of the United States. And we still intend to do that someday soon. And the message that I want to send to you today from the California Democratic Party Women's Caucus and from our leader Nancy Pelosi is this: women are marching, now women need to run for office. We need to step up and lead. We need to take our place in the halls of power. We need to make sure that our voices are heard. People say, how is it that right now a bunch of men can be debating what to do with women's bodies? Well, you know what? If we had a gender parity moonshot, if we had representative, reflective democracy, we'd be talking about jobs, not contraception, now wouldn't we? So I urge all of you, make sure that they can hear us roar. Make sure that you keep marching. Make sure that you're running for office. And when you see a woman who wants to step up, support her. Because you know what we find? Not enough men vote for women, and not enough women give to women. So center a woman. Put forward a woman. Make sure our communities of diversity are all reflected. Hear us roar. Thank you very much.
Organized, because that's what we're going to need to do if we're going to be able to dismantle Trump's hateful agenda. Please get involved in any group, but if you would like to be involved in SF United Against Trump, you can come to visit our website, sf-united.org. Thank you.
Immigrant women janitors who work alone on the night shift are especially vulnerable to sexual harassment and assault. But we have been fighting the harassers, and we are going to confront all the harassers, including Trump.
Trump está atacando a los inmigrantes. Él está diciendo que todos somos criminales y que todos estamos en peligro de ser deportados. Las familias están siendo separadas. La gente de mi comunidad está muy asustada.
Trump is attacking immigrants. He's saying that we're all criminals and that we are all in danger of being deported. Families are being separated, and the people in my community are very scared.
Gracias a Dios ahora tengo estatus legal, pero sé lo que es vivir con ese miedo cuando llegué aquí hace años sin papeles tratando de sostener a mis hijos. Vivir con ese miedo durante años es terrible.
So thanks to God, now I actually have legal status, but I know what it is to live with this fear. When I came here years ago without papers, trying to support my children, I lived with that fear for years and years.
Este 1 de mayo la lucha sigue, compañeros. Estamos aquí para decirle a Trump que no nos daremos la vuelta, seguiremos luchando. Estamos organizando, vamos a volver a la huelga. El 1 de mayo, millones de trabajadores inmigrantes estarán en huelga. El 1 de mayo, Día Internacional de los Trabajadores, como lo hicimos en el 2006 contra los ataques contra los inmigrantes.
So, our struggle is going to continue on May 1st. We're here to tell Trump that we are not going to turn around. We will continue in our struggle. We are organizing, and we will return and strike again on May 1st. Millions of immigrant workers will be on strike on the 1st of May, International Workers' Day. Just like we did in 2006 when we were fighting other attacks on immigrants.
Fire Chief Joanne Hayes-White is going to say a couple words before we finish it up. Thank you so much, Chief, for being here today.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out on this very, very important day. We're honoring women, so many women that came before us. It's more important than ever to come out and celebrate women. I got asked the question today, how come you're going to work? You're supposed to take the day off. And I decided to come to work. It's important for me to come to work in this uniform, looking like this, being your fire chief. So I hope you understand. I hope you understand the reason I'm in my uniform today, because I want more women to, and encourage more women to do things that, you know, I'm 53 years old as of last week. When I grew up, I never thought I'd be a firefighter, let alone the fire chief in one of the greatest cities in the United States. So thank you. I stand in solidarity. What would this world be like without women in our workplace? I'm the fire chief, but my biggest role of all is being mom to my 3 boys, and people say what a great role model I am for women. I'm a better role model for men, my 3 young boys. And I say that because they see in their mom someone that even several years ago would not have been a firefighter, let alone a fire chief. So thank you very much. I applaud each and every one of you, and let's stay strong.
My name is Sierra, and I came here to the Women's General Strike because, like it or not, for people that are watching, I am a black woman. I'm a black woman who is proud to be that. I'm proud of my blackness. I'm proud of being a woman. I'm a straight woman as well. That means that I do have some privileges, and I want to be here to fight for those who cannot, and for people to acknowledge the issues that I face. One of them is easily systemic racism. And when people say Black Lives Matter, it's not to separate us from others, but it is because we have realized that people do not value our lives as equally. I'm also here because I'm here for my trans brothers and sisters who are being murdered at such high rates, and they need people to stand up for them. That is where my privilege of being a straight woman comes in play. I'm also here because of economic privilege that I am afforded to being able to take off a day of work and to be here for my brothers and sisters who don't have that ability, who have to go to work every single day, who have to work 1, 2, or 3 jobs. I'm also here because my best friend's husband was an undocumented child. He is now a citizen, but to have that burden placed on him, that's unfair. That at one time he could have been deported because he was brought here as a child. I'm here to fight for the immigrants. I'm here to fight for my Muslim friends as well. I'm here because this march needs to be intersectional, which means it needs me, and it needs you as well, in any way that you can participate.
All right, we're here in San Francisco at City Hall for the Day Without a Woman. And this is my daughter April. My name is Magic, and we are proud to stand with all the women of the world because it is our time to be in power. Our hearts are about caring for all life. Our hearts are caring for the earth, and we will reign from our hearts, not for power over, not for a matriarchy, but a matrifocal culture in which all women and all life are honored, ending the ownership of the earth so that also the earth is free, because she is the ultimate woman, our mother. And April has something to say.
We made history with the Women's March, but it wasn't just one day. It's every day, and every time we come into the streets and connect with each other, we stop feeling alone. It's better to be present in what you're doing in your life and then be out on the streets or doing whatever your actions are, instead of being in between and guilty and worried. Either be present and love your life or be in action. May it be so. And may there be more music and dancing at these marches, please.
Let's celebrate the beauty of woman all over the planet. It's our time.
It's our time. It always was, but we're taking it for reals this time.